Welcome back to the Myth series in depth. Today's mission is the Stair, which is an excellent defensive mission where we will be holding back multiple waves of enemies. The journal for this mission occurs 22 days after the Legion fended off the Bray Unur in the Ermine Forest.
Monday, December 22nd, Theomir's Gorge, the Stair of Grief. Until this afternoon, the winter had been very mild, almost an extension of autumn. But now the sleet, snow, and fearsome winds make our ascent up the Stair of Grief extremely treacherous. Even worse, we are not alone. Our scouts report seeing terrifying shapes lurking about, masked by the foul weather. Etri and his men have been preparing ambush sites throughout the pass for the better part of the day. 12-Motion Jewel Skull says he was last here 60 years ago, fighting alongside the likes of Durak and Turgeis with burning steel. They caught the Deceiver and the remnants of his army in this very defile, and here destroyed them. Today the Dramus River is frozen solid, but back then it was a muddy torrent of melted snow and ice brought on by the eruption of Tharsis. The Deceiver was plunged into the river and swept far downstream, his scepter sinking to the bottom. I asked 12-Motion why King Ulrich believes the Deceiver will throw in with our lot. He explained how the Deceiver has been frozen in a half-death beneath the river, clinging to life through sorcery alone, with no power left to free himself. The king believes that if we were to revive him and return the scepter, the focus of his power, he would no doubt join our cause. Though our numbers are few, we will guard the pass against Soulblighter's hordes. It is inevitable that we will be forced to fall back toward the Dramus as the enemy advances, but we must give 12-Motion enough time to recover the Deceiver's scepter.
Their journey up into the Stair of Grief was a treacherous one with snow and wind. There is a journal showing the Legion with 12-Motion Jeweled Skull climbing up the Stair of Grief into the cloud spine. The Berserk scouts for the Legion spot some terrifying shapes off in the distance through the wind and snow. There is a journal image showing this. These are no doubt the enemies that we will be facing, along with the new enemy unit in this mission called the Maul. We will talk about the Maul in a short bit. There is a journal image showing the dwarf Etri and his fellow dwarves laying satchel charges in the pass as the Legion prepares its defense against the oncoming enemy. The satchel charges look like they are bundled up in some pillowcases. The name Etri does not appear anywhere else in the Myth games. There is a journal image showing 12-Motion Jeweled Skull along with the Legion that he has here at the Stair of Grief during the Great War, along with Durak and Turgeis with burning steel. Turgeis assisted us with rescuing Ulrich in Myth the Fallen Lords in a mission called The Five Champions and Out of the Barrier. Durak is not mentioned anywhere else in the games. Perhaps Durak was the other guy in the opening cutscene in Myth the Fallen Lords. 12-Motion Jeweled Skull tells us that they defeated the Deceiver and the remnants of his army here at the Stair of Grief. No doubt they were able to defeat him and his army because the Deceiver was already severely weakened by the Watcher. The Deceiver and his staff were plunged into the Dramus River. The journal tells us that it wasn't frozen at the time because of the Tharsis volcano eruption that we discussed in Myth the Fallen Lords. It seems a bit crazy to me that this area would be thawed out by the volcano, as it is a long way up the cloud spine from Tharsis. I guess this gives us an idea of the enormous size of the volcano and the severity of the eruption in Myth the Fallen Lords. Obviously, since 12-Motion Jeweled Skull is looking for the scepter here, that means that only the Deceiver himself was swept far downstream, as the journal states. Now somehow 12-Motion Jeweled Skull knows that the Deceiver is holding out onto his life with magic somewhere within the frozen Dramus River. It is unclear from the game how the Journeyman has this information. Ulrich believes the Deceiver will help us against Soulblighter if we are able to help him and give him his staff. Once we get through Myth 3 the Wolf Age and we understand the Deceiver's history a little bit more, it will make more sense why Ulrich believes this. The journal states that it is inevitable that we will have to fall back towards the Dramus River during the mission. The mission is set up in a way for this to happen. We will be guarding the pass as 12 Motion Joel's skull recovers the Deceiver's staff from the river. The journeyman will know of its location as he likely saw or was told where the Deceiver was plunged into the river during the Great War. The new enemy unit in this mission is called the Maul. The Soulblighter manual tells us that they are hulking pig-like brutes that are native of the Blind Steppes. They wear heavy armor and wield spiked clubs from whole tree trunks. Their heads are as thick as their massive limbs, and they were easily bound to Soulblighter service. They are slow, but absorb and inflict serious damage. They have a flavor text that describes why they were so easily convinced to join Soulblighter. Tempted by Soulblighter's promise of an easy victory over an unprepared foe, their desire for new lands to dominate become insatiable. As we would expect, the pig-like Mauls were easily tempted with new lands. There is another flavor text that talks a bit more about the Mauls. Like a nightmare clothed in flesh, the Mauls swept across the Blind Steppes, their grotesque appearance and incredible strength causing even the most hardened warriors to tremble with fear. There are theories that the Maul are somehow related to the ogres that the Trow completely annihilated at the end of the Wind Age. This is because the ogres are also from the Blind Steppes, according to Myth 3, the Wolf Age, and in that they look similar to the Maul. If you think about it though, Myth 3, the Wolf Age really dropped the ball on the appearance of the ogres because it really doesn't match their appearance in the Tales from Myth comic. Oh well, you can't expect them to get everything perfect from handing the game off. Several of the Maul names in the game come from the name of caves in Australia. I think most, if not all, of them are in southern Australia to be more specific. Please excuse me for butchering these names. Banduna, Neracorte, Tantanula, Warbla, Wigwanda, Wultana, Wakarla, Kumulubuka, Kumalbugura, Bildula, Mayora. These are all caves in Australia. New Luke is a forest reservation in South Australia, and I would guess it is also a cave there somewhere. There are a few Maul names that are not caves, or at least not that I know of. Budawana is an island in the Philippines. Arku is also the acronyms for molecule that consist of argon, carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen. Yamti and Athapi were likely just common names from other countries that Bungie used. The reason I tell you all this is because apparently some tribes in Australia became offended at them using these names because the caves somehow had meaning to their culture or something like that. I really don't know anything else about it, but apparently Bungie got some flack for this. If any of you have any more information on this, I would appreciate it. Well, I felt like we got a little off topic with all those names, but at the very least, I thought it was interesting. Now let's get into the mission. The Legion of the Dark approach. Ambush the enemy troops coming up the pass, falling back when necessary. Destroy them all. Alright, so when we start the mission, we're going to have a couple groups of Thrall, then a couple groups of Mauls, then a couple groups of Thralls, and a couple groups of Mauls, you know, kind of like that. We don't want to waste satchels on Thrall if we don't have to. So we have one group of satchels over here, and one over here. So what we're going to do is the first group of Mauls, we're going to use these satchels to destroy. The second group of Mauls, we're going to use these satchels. And then we're going to run back to farther points. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take all these berserks and we're going to put them over here. So we got a little trick for you, alright?
Yeah.
We're going to have this guy bring out some soulless. I'll describe what I'm doing there in a second. But first off, there's going to be a group of Thrall coming out right away. So we want to go kill them as quick as possible. So we're going to bring out our doors and bowmen out a little bit. So we're going to get all these guys going in. We're going to see some Thrall coming up here in just a second.
The charges are all set, boss.
And this guy is going to help us kill some soulless. So let's not get careless. We have all the charges set.
Make up your mind.
Okay, go get these Thrall. These berserks are going to kill some soulless. So what this guy does Well, it's hard. It's going to be easier to explain it when you can see the map better.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So I'm keeping an eye on the map for that guy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. My copy of
Okay. Alright, so once you get past somewhere along here on the map, once you get beyond that, there's going to be some soulless that come down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to kill them all with our berserks, because they tend to want to, they'll kind of attack you, but they're programmed to want to go across here and meet up with your troops here while you're trying to run back. So we're fighting them and killing them now because it's going to be easier, you know, to kill all these soulless here, not have to deal with them later. Because the soulless are one of the more annoying enemies in this map, like usual. So it looks like they're coming out with berserks, but I'm waiting for some of these guys to come out. So,
I'm moving. Yes. Yeah.
here we go. So now they're ignoring me. See, and there's actually they're like spaced out. So there's like what, like 3 or 4 groups of 2.
Okay. My copy.
Let's save it real quick. Keep saving it.
My copy.
So they'll all get taken out by the.
Move here. Move there. My copy.
They'll take out all these soulless. See, these ones, they're not even responding to them. You see that? So that's why it's easier to take them out now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Well, he almost killed himself. I don't like that. So we'll reload.
My copy.
There we go. That's better.
Yeah. My copy. Look out. Yeah. Move there. Yes.
So we want to bring these
I'm moving.
berserks
Yeah,
back.
let's
We might as well
go.
just bring our dwarves and archers all the way back. Well,
Okay. Okay. Incoming. Okay. Where?
there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the malls.
Yes.
Let's get our archers and dwarves in position.
Move here. Move there.
Okay, save. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna use these berserks to try. We want to clump them up as much as possible. Normally, I would come out here and kind of run back and forth. I kind of got my berserks out here late though, which is okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get them come more this way before they come down,
I'm moving.
so that way they're
I'm
more.
moving. Let's go.
Our satchels will, when they're in the satchels, they'll be more congested. See, so when they're on these satchels now, they're pretty congested. So we should be able to
Yes.
kill pretty much all of them with our one satchel throw. So let's just save it just in case we get duds or something. They're perfect.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. And that's all she wrote. So we're gonna bring all our guys back here. So now you gotta run over here. We're gonna have a couple groups just at the thrall. So we're gonna set up our doors right here to just take out these group of thralls. And we do not want to hit these satchels. We want to save these satchels down here for the malls.
Yeah. I'm moving.
Now there is some soulless that kind of come down. That will come down here. They're like timed or something. I think they're like 60 seconds. They come after 60. Excuse me, 60 seconds. I don't know if it's after 60 seconds after you come over here or 60 seconds after the mission starts.
Yes.
Not 100% sure when they're programmed to come out, but there's a delay to them. But we'll start to see some red, you know, probably when we start fighting this second group of the Raw.
Oh yeah.
So just keep an eye on the map when you see these solos come down.
Burn! Burn! Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Catch!
Just need some time to blow everything up. This is going to be a lot of the mission is just blowing stuff up. So here, I see the solos coming. Right here. I'm going to get our archers in position to shoot them.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because they got the high ground, these solos can be really annoying.
Yeah. Burn!
Move over.
Okay.
We do not want to get rid of those satchels.
Make up your mind.
That would be very bad for the plan. These thrall are not a big deal, but those but the mauls are. The mauls are a major problem.
Yeah.
One thing you can do is if you shoot fire arrows in the snow, they'll immediately go out. But up here on the cliff, that's not true. Well, I guess if it hits the snow up there, it doesn't work, but... Oh, they blew it up while I was busy. Let's bring them back here, down here more. We're just gonna charge them with our berserks.
Yeah.
I think that's what I did when I was practicing. I was trying to remember what I did when I practiced, because... But... I'll be fine.
Yes.
Move here, move there. Make up your mind. Yes.
I'm moving. I'm moving. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
The mauls are coming.
I'm moving. I'm moving.
Okay. There's the dead, so we're gonna get our...
Yes. Move yes. Burn. Move here, move there. Yeah.
Come on, blow up the satchels.
Got it.
Catch.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yes.
Okay,
New units received.
so now it's going to tell us to go back to the next point.
Let's go.
Which is up here, so we got to run around this edge. And as you can imagine, when you're trying to run back to this point with enemies behind you, if you have these solos coming at you, it's really annoying.
Let's go.
So we're
Let's
going to
go.
defend this point, and now we'll explain a little bit more why, you know, once I get up here and I start showing it to you. First off, we're just trying to get our forces all there.
Yeah.
You kind of have to navigate them through multiple points because or else they'll get stuck on
Let's go.
stuff.
Yeah. I'm moving. I'm moving. Yeah. I'm moving. Over here. I'm moving. Yeah. I'm moving. Over here.
And this is where I'm going to defend the rest of the
Make
mission.
up your mind.
I'm moving.
Okay, we're in position. So we're gonna have some solos come down here. That's why I'm getting my archers ready, and I'm also gonna rush them with berserks. But if you have units on this like ridge up here, if you have all your units kind of like over here in general, they'll kind of get stuck here. Most of them like won't find their way around. So we're gonna really abuse this and take advantage of that. Because a lot of the AIs are they're just gonna sit right here and let our dwarves kill them. Now there is one group of thrall and one group of maul that come down here that we're gonna have to deal with. That will they'll try to ruin our plan, but you know, I have a good way of dealing with them, and so they shouldn't be a very big problem. Okay, here's the Solus.
I'm moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whee!
Like,
I'm moving.
you know, we're not taking no hits, but the Solus are a pain, and so I'd rather than reloading a bunch of times, it's better just to have our berserks take them out. Okay, so
Let's go.
as I said, we want our
Yeah.
groups as far over here as possible. So there's going to be some thrall shortly that come down here, but we'll see them. Once we see them, we'll move some doors over there. And before we see them, I think we're going to see some mauls come up here. Now the mauls, if we get into close range, they will kill our berserks. Like they're tough. They're faster than our dwarves and our archers too, so they are a huge pain. Now the one thing that can happen is sometimes these dwarves are idiots like this, and they hit themselves. You can see they're all kind of getting stuck here. They're not really finding their way around, and we got our archers here. So if a few of them find their way around, we'll finish them off with the archers. We just gotta keep an eye for when these thrall come, which I think they're coming pretty soon after these other thrall get up here. We're gonna try to weaken as many of these mauls as we can before we head over to take care of the thralls. That way, if some of them start to find their way around, that there's not like a lot of them. So we're gonna leave one dwarf over there, and we'll come over here and deal with these
Move there. Okay.
thrall that are coming down. Especially when these like thralls start coming in and they start bunching with them, some of them might find their way around. Actually, you know what I did? I'm gonna bring them all around. I forgot I did that. Yeah, because there's going to be a group of mauls that come in after this, so we want all our thrall over here. Or all our doors over here so we can lay bombs. So because we got all our guys kind of spread out more, some more of them are going to start finding their way around. And we'll have to deal with whoever gets their way around. But these berserks all being right here, these guys are all like targeting these berserks. That's why like having a bunch of units right there, getting your berserks right there, can help you with the strategy a lot.
Casualty.
Okay, one of the doors killed themselves. Okay. I haven't saved for a while, have I? Oops! Alright, you guys can all comment that I don't save often enough, because clearly I still don't. Oh, I'll speed up through this a little bit.
Yeah.
There, we got rid of most of the mauls. Any of them that find their way around are not going to be a problem. Die, you dumb thrall.
Yes.
Looks like we accidentally went forward too soon. Okay, so gonna kind of lay a straight line of satchels for when the Maul come down here. We got one more, right? Yeah. We got a nice line of satchels. We're gonna come back down here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring a Berserk up here. So he's gonna kind of be our scout. So when the Maul start coming, we'll see him on the map plenty early to get our doors over there. Actually, there are some guys coming back around. They'll take care of them. So here comes some Mauls. Okay, when you get the new units received, these units, they really aren't going to help us. We're just going to send them down here to join the journeyman. Okay, by the way, this is 12 Motion Jeweled Skull looking for him, looking for the scepter, and you can see he's got quite a few spots where he's been digging, you see, kind of all over the place. So he knows the general location of the scepter, but not exactly where. Anyways. So we're going to see the Maul come down here pretty soon after getting those new units. Yep, there they come. So we'll throw a couple more bombs down, and then we're going to move all our dwarves over there again to deal with them. Okay, we'll see how well we laid out these satchels. Okay, so yeah, the reason I leave these guys down here is if you try to bring them up, well, first off, you really have to micromanage them so that they don't like run into, because they'll start coming up and they start running to run here instead of going around automatically. So you kind of have to micromanage them, and then when they're running around here, they start leading the forces, you know, that are over here in the ridge. They start leading them over here, which is not what you want, you know what I mean, for this strategy. So that's why I don't bother. This is really the only group that is a threat, and we can easily take them out, you know, with our dwarves. So
Got it.
so no big deal.
Yes.
There, that group's done. So there's no more guys coming down here, so pretty much the rest of the level is a cakewalk at this point. Now you're supposed to kind of come down here and maneuver around and kill the Mauls on all these satchels, but this is way easier. You can kind of kite the Mauls around with your berserks to kind of bunch them up and stuff. There'll be, I think there's another Maul group that probably comes down here or two. I don't remember for sure. Have some more. There's like this little cave back here. I guess it's hard for me to see, but it's like right there where a bunch of these units are stacked. That's where they're all coming from. So the first group of units we killed were all down here in this big open area down here. Then we ran back here. There was a couple units, those couple groups of Thrall and Maul that came up, but the rest of the units that we've been fighting have been coming from up here. Okay, we'll save it real quick. This might be the last group. Oh. Yeah, that's it.
Hooray! Hooray!
And then you get a cut to the, you found the scepter in there? Just like it's like a little green orb. Like a green egg. Anyways. So that mission is almost entirely your dwarves. And your damage ratio, if you win the mission, is going to be very high. Just because that's the nature of defensive missions. So we actually got 37 kills with our bowman. We have a bowman 75 kills. That's pretty good. The windscreen shows 12 motion jeweled skull holding the deceiver staff. Obviously he has to use his shovel to break through the thick ice surface on the Dramos River to pull it out. This is likely why it took him so long to get it. Could you imagine trying to break through a half a foot of ice with just a shovel? Maybe next time you are shoveling the snow and ice off your driveway, you can remember what this journeyman had to go through. The staff looks like just a regular stick with a skull on it. Any ideas who the skull might have been? The lost screen shows a Maul holding one of the members of the Legion. The Maul doesn't seem to mind the arrow in its back. You can see one of the Mauls in the back holding up its trunk-sized club. Their brutish size is insane. All of the enemies except for the Soulless are visible from the start of the mission. They sit in their starting position until the level scripting tells them to attack. If you want to make things more interesting, you can lure them out and blow them all up together. Stick around and watch me blow them to smithereens if you like. Either way, I will see you in the next mission, The Deceiver.
Stand clear. Received.